Where you go, I will go. Where you stay, I will stay. Your people shall be my people, and your God shall be my God. Amen. Please be seated. So this famous statement of chosen family and community from the book of Ruth is perfect for baptism. These words have been remembered over the millennia as Ruth's song, but it's just as much the story of Naomi, Ruth's mother-in-law, and a line of our mothers in the faith from the time of Abraham, as we read in Jesus' genealogy in the book of Matthew, the first chapter there. You know them all, right? Tamar, Rahab, Ruth, Bathsheba, others, all the way down to Mary, mother of Jesus. And we'll dig into all of this in a minute. It's a gripping story that sweeps over generations and millennia, and it's fair to ask how we come to encounter it for a baptism. It's almost too marvelous. It's almost too marvelous in this context, too wonderfully applicable and appropriate to the holy work before us today to even believe it's a gift from the lectionary. On a baptism day, we welcome new members among us and say out loud our priorities in community, what's important to us, how we treat each other, how we make our way in the world. I can't think of a better text for baptism than our reading today from the book of Ruth, especially as read by Poppy and Christine. We're walking on the Episcopal wild side today. This isn't today's lectionary for Ruth's faith journey and the Great Commandments. It's from the proper reading for Sunday, this past Sunday, when we instead read the All Saints' Day baptism readings. And we're going to have a flourish with the New Jerusalem just because it's that kind of day. It's a choose your own adventure morning. So here's the tale. Naomi, Ruth's mother-in-law, is not mentioned in Matthew's genealogy by name, but she returned from Bethlehem from Moab, to Bethlehem from Moab, with her Moabite daughter-in-law, Ruth, in tow. Their chosen family bond, stronger than the ties of blood, nation, ethnicity, geography, language, and culture. And we can see how this happens in any formed community. Look around you today. We've been gathered together from many different places, some of them quite distant and different from each other. Some of us are family by birth, parents, siblings, offspring. And others of us are family by marriage, spouses, in-laws like Naomi and me. Step-siblings, some, adoptive family. Still others are family by choice, our closest and dearest friends, bound together by shared experience and years of love and commitment. Just to connect all the dots and fast forward Naomi and Ruth's story from the reading today, it goes further. Let's go back to Naomi's difficult journey with Ruth from Moab to Bethlehem. Naomi has returned to her hometown, but she's lived away for most of her adult life, raising young sons to adulthood and seeing them married, one to Orpah, one to Ruth. When her sons die, after about 10 years of marriage, widowed Naomi convinces Orpah to stay behind in Moab. But Ruth's having none of it. Nope, I'm sticking with you, Ruth says. After the arduous journey through the Jordan Valley, and that's around the Dead Sea, to get back into Bethlehem from Moab, Naomi and Ruth are starving widows, not linked or allied with any family, community, or social group in Bethlehem, with no fully filled out household, children, husband, siblings, cousin, to engage in any kind of productive farming, agriculture, or herding. But Naomi has a cousin, Boaz, descended from a royal line. And it's super interesting to note that Boaz's mother is Rahab, whom you all know from another story. Honestly, we ought to spend whole days on these phenomenal visionary women. Boaz has a prosperous farming and threshing operation. Naomi is too old to do the active work of harvesting, but she arranges for Ruth to be allowed to glean the fields, that is, to take whatever's left after the harvest. And so with Naomi's coaching and advice, Ruth is able to parlay this casual arrangement for just enough to eat into a marriage that begets Obed, who begets King David, who with Uriah the Hittite's wife Bathsheba begets King Solomon, continuing on in this great line of begetting all the way to Mary, mother of Jesus, an unmarried teenager, not even from a priestly family, who with her choice and commitment says yes to God and brings Jesus into the world. Is our lineage of faith in chapter 1 of Matthew's gospel a history or a science text? Absolutely not. But it's a story that carries the deep truth that chosen family is not less than family by blood, but instead is the origin of all family. It's the choices and the covenants and the promises, like Ruth's commitment and promise to follow and care for her mother-in-law Naomi, wherever she goes, that all family by blood comes from. The point of this lineage and its titillating, fascinating, and even salacious twists and turns along the way is that we're meant to love and care for one another, building strong communities that we support and that support us, no matter where we come from and no matter how different we are. So this brings us to baptism. When we baptize in the church, we're welcoming someone new into the community, promising to care for and about them among us. It's a classic covenant of chosen family, like Naomi the Ephrathite in Judea and her Moabite daughter-in-law, Ruth. Even those of us whose faith traditions do not include baptism can find resonance in these promises and comfort in belonging to this community. Listen to what our community says together as we renew our own baptismal covenant in a few minutes and welcome Rhea into our community. We say we'll do our best to hold together as a community. We say we'll remember what's important, keep up our relationships, say sorry when we're wrong, do better next time, always hoping the best for each other and for the world. We'll promise we'll share our fellowship and community with others, bring out the best in each other, love our neighbors as ourselves, and strive for justice and peace among all people, and respect the dignity of every human being. See, this is how Jesus answers the learned Jewish scribe who asks him which commandment is the most important commandment. Jesus responds with what? The great Shema. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. You shall love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. The second is this: you shall love your neighbor as yourself. Now see, these were not new ideas proposed by Jesus on the spot that day. These were part of Jesus' lineage, formed and knit by God into his bones and his heritage, from Abraham and Sarah, salted and seasoned by Tamar and Rahab and Ruth and Bathsheba and Mary, the mother of Jesus, and all the other chosen family along the way. That's our community, and that's how we build the New Jerusalem. I saw the holy city, the New Jerusalem, coming down out of heaven from God. See, the home of God is among mortals. He will dwell with them as their God. They will be his peoples, and God himself will be with them. Amen.